actually student taught here at Penn High School for a semester last January, and a student taught with Mr. Bowers, and I substituted for a while right after I graduated, and found out I got the job here to teach, which was a blessing. And I've been teaching sociology, AP Psych, and then AP US History for close to a month and a half now, so first year teacher.
First question, what is your personal connection to music, and how has music influenced your life?
Personal connection to music. I've always been a big music fan since I was a kid, I think. It's always put me in a better mood, you know? I feel like when you're going through maybe a hard time or good times, you know, it honestly depends, but music has always been just a way to release and kind of enjoy the moment. I mean, I've always been into it. I have a good ear for music, I feel like. So music's always been a part of my life. I use it when I work out, and it all depends. When I'm in the car, turn it up if it's just me. So I'm into all sorts of different genres, and makes me feel better, puts me in a good mood, so.
All right, nice. So what artists and genres do you tend to gravitate to the most?
I would say, so that honestly depends on the mood I'm in, and whether or not I've been to a concert within the past year, I've seen my favorite artists. But mostly I always come back to hip hop, rap music. It's what I grew up with. I've been listening to it since high school. But then I like alternative music, so it really varies. I'd say my least favorite genre is probably country music, although I do tend to enjoy country music concerts. I'm not completely turned off to it, but I would say there's hip hop, rap, and then alternative music for the most part.
Who would you say are your favorite artists right now?
Favorite artist right now? Drake is definitely a big one. And an odd choice going completely off genre here, but Dave Matthews I've always been big into. Been to a lot of his concerts. That is definitely a big one. I would listen to a lot of, let's see, Future is definitely a good one. It was good for a while. I think he kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD is kind of coming around. I like the Chicago rappers. Chance the Rapper is big. Juice WRLD is big now. And then 21 Savage is really good. So it honestly depends on what I'm listening to be honest. I could keep rattling off rappers. I got to see Chance the Rapper live at Lollapalooza.
Oh, nice.
And I got to expand my horizons there. Little Yachty I enjoyed too. So honestly depends.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what's the last piece of music you listened to?
The last?
Yeah.
So, let's go to my phone here. The last piece of music I listened to. St. Troops by Post Malone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I do like Posty. I think he's good. I think his Stoney album is probably the best that I listen to. It's just, he gets into music pretty deep. You can tell he has a good passion for it. His lyrics are pretty deep too, so I like Post Malone.
What do you think of his new album?
His new album's great. I think it sounds a little the same, like some of the older albums that he's had, but then again, if you like Post Malone and like his theme, then that's your music. But I think the beats in his new album are really good. The lyrics not so much. It kind of gives me a different vibe, sort of like almost like kind of like an emo-ish vibe I get from that sort of music. So with some of the songs at least, but others are really good. Like St. Troops is a pretty good song too. So.
All right, so next question. How often do you go to concerts, and what has been your favorite concert experience?
Favorite concert experience is Dave Matthews Band, by far. I just love his music. My first one was in 2004. I think I was a freshman in high school. So I've been going to his concerts quite a bit. I don't want to name drop here, but I've seen a tribute band with Mr. Bowers, a Dave Matthews tribute band, if you can believe it or not, that exists. So we tend to bond over that type of music. But by far, that was probably the best. Again, like I said, I've been to Lollapalooza too. Festivals, I don't know if I'd go to again, to be honest. 4-day festival's a long time. But I think to sort of broaden your horizons and see some different artists like Lorde and The Killers, Lil Yachty, like I said, Chance the Rapper. Those type of artists are really cool to see all in one area in a 4-day weekend. So.
Mm-hmm. So what era would you say has the best music?
Which era? I would say probably mid-90s, early 2000s. I couldn't tell you specifically who would make that group. Just that music was what I grew up listening to. It connects to my childhood. So, and that's what I feel like music, that's where I started listening to music was then. So, but I feel like those were the best eras for me personally.
And so do you keep up with the latest developments in music?
Latest developments, how so? Like speaking to what specifically?
So like, do you keep up with like new releases and like?
I do.
Okay.
So I subscribe to Apple Music. I think that's the best way to listen to music, honestly. Apple will release, and I keep track of artists' Instagrams too, and they'll release music every Thursday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to stay pretty informed. Lately, I've kind of fallen off of that a little bit. I've been a lot busier than I used to be. So, but when a new album drops, Apple Music does a pretty good job of letting people know that it drops, and I usually go to the top playlists, and they'll have the best tracks, and that's usually where I start listening to music and start to really catch on and broaden my music taste. So.
All right. So, no further questions. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mhm.